Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mark with Wear Parts, and today I have Eric Derry with us from our customer care team. And what we want to focus on today is disc blades. We have a very extensive lineup of disc blades. It's 5 pages of different options, hundreds of different options, all the way from 16-inch, 14-inch blades, all the way up to 42-inch in diameter in various thicknesses. So, Eric, you want to just tell us some of the different types of blades and what they're used for?
Well, pretty much all the disc blades are going to be used in your disc harrow applications. There's some that are, we're not going to get into some of the very specific ones like the high speed, but we're going to talk about some of the more standard that have been around for a long, long time. You drive down the interstate and you see somebody out there throwing dirt off the side of the road out in the field, odds are they're running disc blades out there.
I mean, disc blades are used all across America, aren't they? I mean, it just depends, and there's different brands that are like I was just looking at that. That's a notched crimp center disc blade, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got that flat center on the middle, so that's going to match up with a flat hub that's going to be fitting on there, or the arbor bolt is going to have a flat spot on it that it matches up against. So yeah, it's a lot of different styles, a lot of different hole patterns, and we carry almost all of them.
Correct. Like for instance, on your Case IH crimp center family, on the notch we have them from 16 inches all the way up to 32-inch crimp center, which is used in some of your vegetable farming and in California and Florida, on 2-inch increments all the way from 16 to 32. And then on the smooth for the crimp center for Case, we've got them 18 inches to 28 inches on your smooth. So just depending on what the customer wants or what the application is. Some of those smooth ones actually have a DMI 5-bolt pattern on them, 5 on 5.5. So again, tons of options for your Case IH crimp center disc harrows for your 596s, your 870 harrows. Is there anything else that you want to say, Eric, regarding the Case stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's pretty good.
Covers
overview.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we move on to your notched and your smooth standard concavity disc blades. Many different brands, isn't there, Eric?
Absolutely.
I mean, so the key is when you're needing a standard disc blade that you get the diameter was when it was new,
Right.
and the thickness, your edge style, and the axle shaft size. Like
Right.
they always oversize that hole, don't they?
Right. When you're measuring your axle bolt size, we want to make sure that we know whether you're measuring the hole in the disc or the actual axle, because that there can be up to a 1/16 of an inch difference there. If you tell us that you have an 1.25 inches and then your axle size is actually 1 1/8 inches, you're gonna end up with a blade that's gonna fit sloppy on your machine.
Right. So what we want to know is we want to know your axle size. Does it measure 1 3/4 round? Does it measure 1 5/8 square? And then obviously the hole in the blade on like an 1 5/8 square, the hole is actually 1 11/16.
Right.
So it can slide on there nicely. So on your notched disc blade standard concavity, those we stock from 12 inches all the way up to 42 inches.
Now, those 42 inches, a lot of times those larger blades would be in like a roadbed preparation. Yeah, going down the highway and they're building that next section of interstate. They're using disc blades out there too.
Correct. And like on that 42, they're also running those on Baker plows.
Right.
They're out of I think Allen, Texas, I believe. So again, give us a call on those notch ones. On the smooth, we stock those on the standard concavity, which is this blade here, from 12 inches all the way up to a 36 inch, so 12 to 36 inch on your smooth. And generally speaking, on your disc blades, your edge is an external bevel on the smaller stuff, and then as you get into your bigger diameter disc blades, oftentimes the bevel is on the inside.
Yeah, there are different options for that bevel depending on what kind of cut that you're looking for. You can see right here on this particular blade, that's got a single bevel. Well, actually, it's got a double bevel.
Double bevel, yeah.
So as it comes down, it's sharpened here, and then it's sharpened just a little bit more, so it actually changes that angle.
And then also on your notch, I'm just noticing that the notch is also tapered, just so that as it's rolling through the ground, it's cutting. And sometimes on like your offset disc harrows, they'll run a set of notch on the front for cutting and tillage, and then smooth on the back. The thing to bear in mind is with notch, you get a lot better cutting. Smooth, you get a little bit longer life because you've got more of your edge there. So just thing to bear in mind there. Then we have a product category that's shallow concavity. There's so many specialty blades out there in disc blades, isn't there, Eric?
There are. There's a lot of them that where you're going to, they don't want to throw as much dirt. The machine is designed to just size and just move a little bit of dirt. They don't want it to be pushing it all over, turning everything black. So they'll actually specify shallower concavity just for that particular application.
Like that blade right there.
Yeah. This particular blade has such a shallow concavity, it almost looks flat, but it's not.
It's got a 1/2 inch of concavity. It's a 20 inch, and it actually fits a McFarlane machine. Looks like probably 1.5 inches square. A long bevel on there, long double bevel. But yeah, that looks like a Coulter. So another group of disc blades that we have are your deep cone blades to fit deer. Tell us about those, Eric.
Yeah, those are going to be a much higher concavity. You can see that angle is very extreme on those. Very deep dish. They're going to be moving a lot of soil on those deer machines. It's kind of a specialty application for deer. So we only carry them in about 3 sizes, I believe.
22 inch, 24 inch, and 26 inch in both notch and smooth. So a few options there. Another product family that we have of the disc blades is our Rome Dimple disc blades. Tell us about those, Eric.
Well, these are in particular used in the Rome plows. So they've got tend to be much larger blades, special concavity on them, and very heavy duty, ranging from 28 by 8 millimeter all the way up to 42 by 12 millimeter. That's a ginormous blade, a lot of weight to it, but it's quite impressive to see those guys out in the shop when they're cutting those holes in there with that plasma table.
Yeah, and what's unique about the Rome disc blade, the Rome Dimple one, it has 4 dimples around the center hole, and that actually embeds into the spacer spool to keep it, when it's tightened down, it keeps the whole thing rotating together so that the one blade can't spin. So we stock those, as you said, from 28 by 8s all the way up to 42 by half, 42 by 12. And then we also stock it in one size smooth. We have some customers that want a 36 inch by half smooth Rome disc blade. Again, that one's used in agriculture. Well, that wraps up our disc blade product families. We do have some more to go over on the high speed and the vertical tillage, but that's going to be in its own video. So thank you very much for joining us today, and good afternoon.